Okay, so good day nurses. Now let's begin the discussion for our chapter 2 in Community Health Nursing 2 topic, which is the epidemiology or health statistic and epidemiology. So dito pag-uusapan natin kung ano yung mga possible or yung rate ng sakit, kung gaano ba kadami, gaano ba kalala yung sakit na na-encounter or yung mga cases sa community. So dito natin malalaman kung masyado bang mataas, masyado bang mabilis ang pagkalat ng isang sakit doon sa isang community. So before that, let's begin first sa ating terminologies. So when we say terminologies, these are the important terminologies na kailangan nating malaman for your CH2. Okay, so we have your statistic, vital statistic, and epidemiology. So when we say statistic class, from the word stat, okay? So statistic refers to a systematic approach. Okay, so kung gusto nating malaman or makuha yung isang data, we use statistic. Okay, isa siyang approach or isa siyang technique siya para makuha natin yung gusto nating data. So for example, gusto mong kunin yung number of what they call this one, of females or male in the community, you use statistic. Kung gusto mong di ba? Sa research ninyo, we use statistic, di ba? Pag once na pagdating nyo sa chapter 4 ninyo, yung ating, what they call this one, yung ating interpretation, we use statistic. Di ba? Nagpapa-stat kayo para sa ganun, ma-interpret ninyo yung data. So, yun si statistic. Next naman natin, we have your vital statistic. So, kung gusto mong makuha yung number or yung data ng mga vital events, katulad na lamang ng births, illnesses, marriages, divorce, separation, and death. Kung gusto mong makuha yung number ng births, number ng mga sakit, number ng mga nagpapakasal, number ng mga naghihiwalay, ng mga patay or mga namatay na, we use vital statistic. Okay, so ulitin natin, statistic in general, yan yung tawag. Pero kung gusto mong makuha yung number ng deaths or yung mga vital events sa ating mga buhay, we use the vital statistic. Next naman natin, we have your epidemiology. So when we say epidemiology, from the word logi, it is a study. So it is the study of occurrences, okay, it's occurrences and distributions of diseases, as well as the determinations of health states or event in the specified population and the application of this study to control the health problem. So, ibig niyang sabihin, kung gusto nating malaman yung kung gaano ba kabilis, ano ba yung sakit na kumakalat sa community, we use epidemiology. So, for example, di ba si COVID-19 before, hindi naman talaga siya nakilala, hindi naman natin talaga siya alam. Di ba? Basta ang balita lang ng COVID-19, there are cases sa China na nagkakaroon ng mga pneumonia. So, pneumonia ang isa sa mga complication, yun yung maraming sakit or yung mga cases na nababalitaan sa China. So, hindi natin alam kung ano ba yun. So, nag-undergo ng study which is the epidemiology. Epidemiology yung ginamit nila to determine kung ano ba yung sakit na yun. As yun, dahil sa epidemiology, na-discover natin, okay, COVID-19 pala siya. Okay, epidemiology, it is the study of occurrences and distribution. So, pag sinabi din natin epidemiology, okay, siya din yung, okay, yung what they call this one, yung backbone of preventing diseases. Okay, pag sinabi natin epidemiology, ito ay backbone of preventing diseases. So if we want to prevent certain diseases, we use the epidemiology. Okay, so ulitin ko, epidemiology, the study of occurrences and distribution of disease. Tinatawag din natin ng epidemiology, it is the backbone of prevention Kasi epidemiology, the backbone of preventing diseases. Sino naman ang backbone of preventing infection? No other answer? It's hand washing. Okay? Preventing infection, hand washing. Preventing diseases, epidemiology. Okay, next natin. Who is the father of epidemiology? It is John Snow. Okay? Si John Snow ang ating father of epidemiology. Bakit kaya tinawag na si John Snow ay or si John Snow kino-consider na father of epidemiology? Bakit kaya? Ano kayang meron kay John Snow? Okay? Si John Snow kasi, class, isa siya sa mga nakadiscover on how to prevent or lessen the distribution or the what they call this one, yung pagkalat ng sakit na cholera. Siya yung unang nakadiscover. That's why siya ang tinawag na father of epidemiology, which is John Snow. Okay? Wait lang. Next. Ito yung sinabi ko kanina, preventing infection, hand washing. Okay, so we have 4 classification of epidemiology. So we'll already discuss this one during your CHN1. Okay, so yung 4 classification natin, we have your sporadic, your endemic, your epidemic, and pandemic. Pag sinabi natin sporadic, ano ulit si sporadic? Letter S, seasonal. Ibig sabihin, kung seasonal lang siya, very time lang siya. Okay, hindi buong taon meron tayong sakit nun. So for example, during summer season, doon lang mataas yung cases or doon lang nagkakaroon ng cases. Ano pa? During kapag mga tag-ulan or kapag December, ganyan yung sinasabi nating seasonal. Ibig sabihin, intermittent occurrence siya. On and off. Meron ngayon, tapos after how many months or after how many weeks, wala siya. And then meron na naman, and then wala siya. That is sporadic. At saka best example natin dito, we have your rabies. Okay? Si rabies natin is type yan ng sporadic. Bakit? Dahil si rabies natin, mataas lang yan during summer season. Why ulit? Bakit ulit siya mataas? Dahil during summer season, walang pasok ang mga bata. That's why nasa labas sila. Eh sino ba ang laging target ng mga aso? 'Di ba kapag tayo hinabol tayo ng aso, may magagawa pa tayo eh. Kaya nating lumaban, kaya nating tumakbo. But in the case of mga childrens or yung mga bata, kapag once na hinabol sila ng aso, wala silang magagawa. That's why sila ang prone sa mga dog bite. Kaya during summer season, dahil wala sila sa school, andun lahat sila sa labas naglalaro, kaya mataas ang mga incidence rate natin ng dog bite kapag summer season. Ano pa? Pwede din natin dito si dengue and leptospirosis during mga rainy days. O, diba? Pag mga tag-ulan, mataas si ating leptospirosis and your dengue. Next naman natin, endemic. Pag sinabi nating endemic, andoon lang siya sa isang place. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya nawawala. So, all throughout ng taon, andoon lang siya. At ang best example natin dito is the malaria. Saan? Sa Palawan. Okay, si malaria, endemic yan sa Palawan. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila nawawalan ng cases ng malaria. Diba? Remember, si malaria, gusto niya yun sa mga forest. Eh, diba, pag sinabi nating Palawan, meron siyang maraming puno, tapos may mga spring, may mga dagat, kaya doon nagkakaroon ng breeding site ang mga malaria. Kaya ano nangyayari? Mataas ang cases nila ng malaria. Hindi sila na-zero sa cases ng malaria. Endemic. Kaya don't forget, letter E-N-D-E. Ende. Diba? Ende, mawala-wala. It's endemic. Next naman natin, we have your epidemic. Pag sinabi nating epidemic, biglang taas. Okay, it is outbreak na tinatawag. Okay? It's outbreak na tinatawag natin. Biglang taas or biglang dami ng mga cases. Best example dito, we have your dengue. O, diba? Sabi natin si dengue, seasonal din siya. Pero kapag biglang taas ng mga cases natin ng dengue, ayan, pwede natin siyang i-classify as epidemic or outbreak. Kaya nga, don't forget, we have your DEMI, your DEMI. DEMI, bigla. Okay? DEMI, bigla. Biglang dumami ang mga cases. Next naman natin, we have your pandemic. Si pandemic, ayan, don't forget, we have your COVID-19, di ba? Si COVID-19 worldwide, ibig sabihin, buong mundo nakaranas nitong sakit, nagkaroon ng cases. Hindi lang Pilipinas, hindi lang China, hindi lang US, bagkus buong bansa or buong mundo. Worldwide pandemic, PAND, pandaig, diyan. So, yan yung 4 classifications natin ng epidemiology. Okay? Next, we have your 3 classifications of your your epidemic. Okay? So, we have your 4 classifications of your epidemic. Ano yung your endemic, epidemic, I should say. So, we have your 4 classifications of epidemic. Ano yung 4 classifications ng epidemic natin? Ano yung 3 classifications ng epidemic natin. So, una natin, we have your point source. Okay? So, we have your point source. Number 1, we have your point source. Okay. Pag sinabi nating point source epidemic, ito ay single event. Okay? Single event. Anong example nito? Ito, uso ito dati nung ating COVID-19 cases. O, diba? Ibig sabihin ng single event, for example, may salo-salo, merong party, merong fiesta doon sa barangay na yun. Ngayon, nagsalo-salo sila, hindi nila alam, yung isa positive pala sa COVID-19. Ngayon, nagkahawa-hawa na lahat. Kaya doon sa certain area, tumaas ang cases nila. Diba? Diba? Biglang dumami yung mga cases nila. That is your point source. Okay? So, for example, sa amin, meron kaming pa-fiesta. Diba? May pa-fiesta kami. Ngayon, sa fiesta, uso ang mga salo-salo. Ngayon, hindi namin alam na yung mga yung pagkain na hinanda ay meron palang food poisoning. So, ngayon, biglang kumain kaming lahat. E di ngayon, lahat ng mga kumain nun, nagkaroon ng food poisoning. So, biglang dami ng cases ng food poisoning ngayon dun sa lugar na yan. Pero doon lang sa lugar na yun, mataas ang food poisoning. Pero sa kabilang barangay, sa kabilang municipality, or sa kabilang place, hindi naman mataas. That is the example of your point source, single event. Next natin, pangalawa, we have your propagated epidemic. So, we have your propagated epidemic. Ibig sabihin ng propagated, person to person. Okay, person to person, ibig sabihin close contact. O, diba? Uso din to during the pandemic, diba? For example, ako, nakipag-birthday ako, hindi ko alam na yung isa pala ay merong, for example, nakijamming ako or nakitsugtsugan, diba? Hindi ko alam may mpox pala siya, akala ko pimple lang yun. O ngayon, nagkaroon ako ng mpox. Pag uwi ko sa bahay, nakipaghalubilo ako, nakipag-asaran ako, dumikit ako sa mga family ko. Ngayon sila nagkaroon na din ng mpox. Ngayon sila naman nakipaghalubilo sa mga kaibigan nila, nagkaroon din na mpox. So ngayon dumami ang cases. Bakit? Because of the person-to-person contact, that is a propagated epidemic. Last one natin, okay, number 3, we have your cyclical. or cyclical epidemic. When we say cyclical epidemic, ito ay para siyang sporadic, seasonal. Puntahan natin kanina si ating dengue. Ibig sabihin, seasonal siya, mataas or biglang dami ng cases kapag tag-ulan. That is your cyclical epidemic. Okay? That is your cyclical epidemic. Next one natin. Okay? So, ito yung isa sa mga ginagamit ng ating mga epidemiologists para malaman nila kung ano nga ba yung sakit. Okay? This model, this is your epidemiological triad. Okay? Ulitin ko. This is your epidemiological triad. When we say epidemiological triad, ito yung ginagamit ng mga epidemiologists to classify or to know ano ba yung sakit na kumakalat. Okay? So for example, may bagong sakit na kumakalat sa isang barangay. Okay? Sa barangay Pinagsawaan, may mga tao doon na nagkakasakit at pare-parehas sila ng signs and symptoms. Pero hindi nila alam kung ano yung sakit na yun. So ngayon, si epidemiologist pupunta yan doon sa place na yun to study kung ano ba yung sakit na yun. So ngayon, pagpunta nila sa barangay, pagpunta nila doon sa place, ano ang kailangan nilang unang aalamin? Ano ang unang information na kailangan nilang alamin pag pumunta sila or pag nagkaroon ng visitation doon sa may place? Ang una nilang information na kailangan alamin, kailan nagkaroon ng unang case. Or parang ganito, kailan nag-manifest or kailan, anong day nag-start yung manifestation. Okay, so for example, August 19, ibig sabihin, August 19, nag-start na nagkaroon ng lagnat yung isang tao or nagkaroon ng pagmumula ng mga skin or ng katawan hanggang sa nagkaroon na din yung iba. Okay, the first day nung occurrence doon sa may place, yun yung kailangan unang itanong ng mga epidemiologists kapag sila ay mag-i-study or mag-a-undergo ng investigation doon sa may place kung saan nakita yung sakit. Okay, anong meron ba dito? So, always remember class, when we use epidemiological triad, we use the 3 W's. Okay, the 3 W. Ano yun? Your what, where, and who. Okay, so pag sinabi nating what is the agent? Ano yung sakit or ano yung pathogens? So when we say pathogens, these are microorganisms that causes diseases. Ano yun? We have your bacteria, your viruses, your fungi, and then your protozoa. These are your pathogens, microorganism that causes diseases. What? Kailangan muna nating alamin kung ano yung agent, by which, paano natin malalaman yun? By series of examination. O, balikan natin si COVID-19. So, for example, si COVID-19, bago pa lang siya, hindi pa natin alam yung sakit na yun. Ngayon, ano yung agent na yun? Ano yung agent na yun? So, sabi nila, nag-undergo ng series of examination, blood test, ano pa, your sputum examinations, ang daming series of exam. So, hanggang sa nakita nila na dapat pala ay swabbing. Doon sa swabbing nila, nakita nila doon na yun ay yung mga sakit or yung mga person na nagkaroon ng manifestation ng pneumonia, pare-parehas sila ng causative agent. Kaya ano nakita nila? Ano yung causative agent natin ng COVID-19? Your SARS-CoV-2. Diba? Your SARS-CoV-2. Yan na yung agent. Nalaman ngayon nila, okay, SARS-CoV-2 yung ating agent. Ngayon, the environment. They need to know the environment. Saan siya? Anong place? Nalaman natin sa China. Ano pa? Diba? Meron pa sinasabi nila dati na kapag once na malamig yung place, mas marami yung cases ng COVID-19. Kaya nga nangyari sa US. During the December, malamig, kaya dumami yung cases nila. Environment. Next naman natin, we have your host. Who? We need to know who, sino. Sino yung mga usually tinatamaan. Nakita nila sa study nila na mas maraming natatamaan yung mga too old, too young, and then or the pregnant women. Yung may mga comorbidities, 'di ba? Nalaman nila 'yan, kaya nga 'di ba, kapag matanda hindi na pinapalabas, kapag bata hindi na rin pinapalabas, kapag may comorbidity ka, dapat priority ka sa vaccination. So yun yung kailangan nating malaman. Kapag once na may kumalat na sakit, this model ang gagamitin natin to study the occurrences and distribution of diseases in a certain locality or place. We have your epidemiological triad. Aside from your epidemiological triad, we also use the chain of infection. The chains of infection. This is the example of your chain of infection. We also use this one para saan naman? To break, to break yung pagkalat ng sakit. To break yung pagkalat ng sakit or malesen na. Malesen na yung mga pagkalat ng sakit. So we have your 6, we have your 6 elements under your chains of infection. First one, we have your infectious agent or your agent. Pag sinabi nating agent ulit, siya ay isang pathogen. Pag sinabi nating pathogen, these are microorganisms that causes diseases. Ano ulit yung mga yun? Bacteria, viruses, fungi, and protozoa. That is your infectious agent. Next naman natin, we have your reservoir. Your reservoir, these are yung habitat. Habitat. Or ibig sabihin ng habitat, yun yung pinaglulunggaan, pinagbabahayan, or dito sila dumadami. Pag sinabi natin reservoir, this place, dito sila nagmumultiply, dito sila dumadami. Anong example natin dito? We have your animals, animals natin, agent natin. O balikan natin ulit si COVID-19. COVID-19, sino yung SARS-CoV-2? Anong reservoir nila? Sabi nila, galing siya sa bat. O diba? Galing sa paniki. Reservoir ngayon. Ngayon, portal of exit. Yung bat. Yung bat, yung laway ngayon ng bat. Doon ngayon lumabas yung ating SARS-CoV-2. Yun ang portal of exit. Ngayon, mode of transmission. We have your contact. Ano pa? Droplets, yun yung mga sinasabi nila. Airborne, direct contact, your droplets and your airborne. For example, yung ating isang tao, kumain siya ng paniki. Kaya, mode of transmission niya, contact. Ano pa? Yung isang tao or yung animals or yung paniki na yung laway niya nalagyan yung food ng person, droplet. So mode of transmission, droplet. Yun yung mga example ng mode of transmission natin. Ngayon, pag mode of transmission, portal of entry. Saan ngayon pumasok? Through sa nose. Ano pa? Pwede din sa inhalation or pwedeng meron siyang contaminated yung isang surface na ipasok niya sa sugat niya. Yun, portal of entry. Basta mga butas yan kung saan pwedeng pumasok ang mga microorganism or mga pathogens, that is considered your portal of entry. And then, your susceptible host. These are humans. Tayo ito mga susceptible host natin. So this is also used para maklasify kung ano ba yung sakit na kumakalat. O pag tinanong kayo, to break the chains of infection, sino yung pinaka-weakest link among these six? Sabihin ulitin ko, to break the chain of infection. Pag sinabi kasi nating chain kay last, di ba chain, yung ating kadena. 'Di ba? Si kadena wala yang stop. It's a continuing process. It is a continuation process. So ibig sabihin paulit-ulit lang siya. So kailangan natin siyang ma-break para sa ganun ma-stop yung transmission, ma-stop yung pagkalat ng sakit, mag-decrease yung mga cases natin. So among these 6, sino dito yung ating weakest link? Ibig sabihin, siya yung pinaka the best na i-break natin para hindi na or mag-stop na yung pag-spread ng diseases. The answer will be mode of transmission. Among these 6, this is the weakest link, okay? Ito yung pinaka-weakest link natin. We have your mode of transmission. Okay? Next. Okay. So, we have your rate and ratio. So, when we say rate, it is a vital statistic. A rate shows the relationship between vital event and those person exposed to the occurrence of said event within a given area and during specified unit of time. Okay? Si rate natin, it is an evident that the person experiencing the event, the numerator, it must come from total population exposed to the risk of same event, the denominator. How about your ratio? So, parang si rate class, di ba ganito siya? 9 out of 100. That is rate. Okay? Pag ratio, it is used to describe relationship between two numerical quantities or measure. Sorry, mali pala. Baliktad. Okay. Okay, so again class. Okay, so pag sinabi nating rate, class, and ratio, ito si rate and ratio natin. Sabi dito, it is a vital statistic. A rate shows the relationship between a vital event and those person exposed to occurrences. So usually class comparison, it is a comparisons of two or more quantities with different unit. So for example, yung rate natin 20 out of 100. That is rate. Then pag ratio naman natin class, okay, si ratio natin, it is used to describe the relationship between the two numerical quantities. Ang first example natin dito, there are 4 boys to every 6 girls in the math class. So, for example, 5 out of 10 ratio. Okay? So, for example, rate natin, 20 every 100 na person nagkakaroon ng sakit na ganito. Pag ratio, 5 out of 10. So, 5 ang may sakit dun sa 10 tao. Okay? That is your rate and ratio. Ulitin ko, pag sinabi natin rate, in a vital statistic, a rate shows the relationship between a vital event. Pero naman, ratio, relationship between numerical quantities. Okay? Next, crude or general rates. These rates refers to the total living population. General rates nga. So, living population, it must be presumed that the total population was exposed to the risk of occurrence of the event. And pag specific rate naman, the relationship is for a specific population or class group. Kung kanina, general rates, whole population. Pero pag once na specific rate, is specific population only. Next, ito na. These are your rate and ratio. So first natin, we have your CBR or your crude birth rate. Si crude birth rate class, it is a measurement of characteristic of natural growth or increase of a population. So kung gusto mong makita kung dumadami ba or tumataas ang population ng isang place, we use the crude birth rate. Okay? So ano si crude birth rate? CBR is equals to number of total number of live births registered in a given calendar year. Okay, so our example natin dyan. Okay, example natin, total number of live birth registered in a given year. So for example, ang naka-register ngayong taon ay 120. Okay, so 120. Ngayon naman, i-divide daw natin siya sa estimated population as of July 1 of the same year. So for example, as of July 1, ilan ang kanyang estimated population? We have your 1,500. So meron tayong 1,500 estimated population as of July 1. So 120 divided by 1,500 times 1,000. So anong sagot natin? 80. Okay, the crude birth rate will be 80. Okay, estimated. Next naman, crude death rate. Crude death rate, a measurement. Para mas clear siya, class. 120 equals to 1,500. Okay? So 120 divided by 1,500, it's equal to 0.08. Ita times mo ngayon siya sa 1,000. So is the CBR will be 80. Okay? 80 ang CBR natin. Again, kung gusto mo makita kung tumataas ang population ng isang place, crude birth rate. How about your crude death rate? Si crude death rate, ayan. Yan lang yung pinagkaiba nila. Kanina, crude birth rate. Ngayon, crude death rate. Kung gusto mo naman makita yung number ng mga namamatay, okay, doon sa isang population or sa isang place, we use the crude death rate. Okay, so ito yung kung kanina sa crude birth rate, pag-increase ng population. Ngayon naman sa crude death rate, pagbaba ng population. So, same lang sila, class. Pero kung kanina, total live births, pero ngayon, total number of death registered in a given calendar year. And then, estimated population times 1,000. So, for example, merong namatay na 95. Okay. May 95 na namatay sa population or doon sa isang barangay. I-divide natin siya same 1,500 divided by 1,500 equals to 0.06 times 1,000 equals to 60. Okay, 60 class. So pwede din siyang 63. Okay, so ulitin ko, 95 divided by 0.06333. So pag tinimes ko yun ng 1,000, 63.3. Pero kapag once na 0.6, hindi mo na kinuha yung 333, pwede siyang 0.6, ang lalabas 60. Pero pag kinuha mo yung 333, ang lalabas 63. Okay, that is your crude death rate. Next naman natin, maternal mortality rate. Pag sinabi natin mortality rate, class, ayan, pagkapatay, number of deaths. Okay, number of deaths. For example, measure the risk of dying from causes related to pregnancy, childbirth, and puerperium. It is an index of obstetrical care needed and received by the women in the community. So hanggang pregnancy, hanggang delivery, class, namatay yung mother, under yan sa maternal mortality rate. For example, namatay siya because of infection, or maternal mortality rate. Infection, bakit siya na-infect? Dahil sa maduming or unsterile na instrument na ginamit, nagkaroon siya ng infection. Ano pa? Namatay siya because of hypovolemic shock. May masyadong madami yung blood na nawala sa kanya, more than 1,000. Okay, so that is considered maternal mortality rate. Ano pa? During pregnancy, meron siyang pre-eclampsia. Nagkaroon siya ng eclampsia, nag-seizure siya, tumaas ang baby niya, pumutok ang mga ugat, namatay siya, under yan sa maternal mortality rate. Nag-develop siya ng gestational diabetes mellitus, nag-peak ngayon ang kanyang blood sugar, hanggang sa namatay ang pasyente, under yan sa maternal mortality rate. Example niyan, total number of deaths from maternal causes registered in a given calendar year. So for example, meron namatay, total of 300 na pregnant women, na mga mother. Total number of registered live birth. Ang registered live birth natin, it's 999. So, tignan natin. 300 divided by 999 times 1,000. Score 30.03. Okay, the maternal mortality rate is 30.03. How about your infant mortality rate? So infant mortality rate, again, first year of life. Infant mortality rate, first year of life. Lahat ng namatay during the 1-year-old pababa, under yan sa infant mortality rate. Ganun lang din, class. Total number of deaths under 1 year of age registered in a given year, and then total number of registered births. Next naman natin will be your fetal death rate. Kung kanina infant, ngayon fetal. Pero pag sinabi naman natin fetal, nasa sa sinapupunan pa lang siya. Measures pregnancy wasted, death of the product of conception occurs prior to its complete expulsion, irrespective of duration of pregnancy. Nasa tiyan pa lang, namatay na yung bata, fetal death rate. Ganun din, total number of fetal death registered in a given year divided by total number of registered live births. The next natin, we have your neonatal death rate. So when we say neonatal death rate, measure the risk of dying during the first month, during the 30 days. Ulitin natin, infant, 1 year below. Fetal, during pregnancy. Nasa sinafufunan pa lang. Okay, letter F. Letter F. Para hindi makalimutan, sinafufunan. Or pregnant. Kung yung infant natin kanina, ayan, infant, 1 year old. And then next natin, neonatal, first 1 month of life. Okay, neonatal, first 1 month of life. Namatay siya, 1 week pa lang yung bata. Neonatal yan. Okay, so anong number yun? Number of deaths under 28 days of age divided by total number of registered live births times 1,000. Okay, so next, your specific death rate. Kung ito naman, class, kung kanina meron tayong crude death rate, number of deaths. Ngayon, kung gusto natin ma-specify, okay, specific tayo. Ito ang gagamitin natin, your specific death rate. So, specific death rate, class, describe more accurately the risk of exposure of certain classes or groups to particular disease. To understand the forces of mortality, the rate should be made specific provided the data are available for both the population and the event in their specification. Specific rates render more comparable result and thus reveal the problems of public health. Okay, so sa ating specific death rate, death in a specific class or group registered in a given calendar year times or divided by estimated population as of July 1. So, meron tayong cause-specific death rate, your age-specific death rate, and your sex-specific death rate. So, pwede ito yung gagamitin natin. So, for example, sa cause-specific death rate, ilan ang namatay or ilan ang death rate natin ng diabetes mellitus? Ilan ang namatay because of hypertension? Ilan ang namatay because of communicable disease? Ilan ang namatay because of diabetes or of cardiovascular problem? Ilan ang namatay because of vehicular accident? Yan yung ating cause-specific death rate. Pag gusto naman natin malaman, ilan ba ang namatay kapag senior citizen? Ilan ang mga namatay under the young adult? Ilan ang namatay under sa mga ating adulthood? Ilan ang namatay under your toddler? It is your age-specific death rate. Kapag sex-specific death rate, ilan ang namatay ng mga babae? Ilan ang namatay ng mga lalaki? That is your sex-specific death rate. Hindi ito yung ilan namatay because of sex. Hindi specific death rate or sex-specific death rate, yan yung number ng babae or lalaki. Okay? So, don't forget that one. Next, I think konti na lang to. I think the last na to. Ito. We have your attack rate. So, pag sinabi nating attack rate, a more accurate measurement of the risk of exposure useful in epidemiological investigation. So, pag sinabing attack rate, number of persons acquiring a disease registered in a given year. So, pag attack rate, ilan ba yung tao? Number of person acquiring a disease. So, for example, sa COVID-19. Okay, sa COVID-19 natin, ilan ba? Okay, so ilan ba yung ilan ba yung nagkaroon ng COVID-19? And then, i-divide natin siya sa number of exposed to the same disease in a same year. So, for example, meron tayong exposure. Ilan na na-expose? We have 1,200 daw ang na-expose sa COVID-19. Ilan na nag-positive? 35. So, 35 divided by 1,200 times 100, that will be the attack rate. Next, we have your case fatality record. Your case fatality record naman, class, index of killing the power of a disease is influenced by incomplete reporting and poor morbidity data. So, ito si case fatality rate natin, number of registered death from a specific disease for a given year. So, ito yung index of killing power of a disease. So, kung gaano siya katindi, gaano siya nagkakapag-cause ng pagkapatay. Okay? So, number of registered death from a specific disease for a given year divided by number of registered cases from same specific disease in a same year. So, kung kanina class, huwag kayong malilito. Your cause-specific death rate, for example, meron tayong namatay, your cardiovascular disease, 12 ang namatay. Sa ating DM, 13 ang namatay. Okay? Sa ating communicable disease, meron 2 ang namatay. Vehicular accident, 5 ang namatay. So, kung gusto mong makita yung specific death rate, okay? So, for example, your cardiovascular disease, ano ang specific death rate niya? CVD natin divided by 12, or sorry, CVD natin, 12 ang cases natin. So, 12, ang population as of July 1 is 1,200. 12 divided by 1, 2 times 1,000. Pero pagdating naman dito sa ating case fatality rate, ilan ang namatay sa ating CVD? 12. Number of registered cases from a same year, ilan ngayon ang may sakit na CVD? So, titignan natin, ilan ba? Sabihin natin merong 35 cases ng cardiovascular disease doon sa isang barangay. 12 divided by 35 times 100. That would be, anong answer natin dito? Wait. Divided by 35 times 100. 34.28 ang laki. Okay? 34.28 mataas. Okay? So, yan is case fatality record. Okay? Kung kanina, number of population estimated, pero dito, number of cases. Case fatality record. Next, we have your SWAROP. SWAROP is the index death above 50 years old. So, ito yung mga namamatay above 50. Okay, so for example, may namatay 62, 13, 75, 14, 51, meron namatay na 5, 52, may namatay na 7. Okay, sa 20 years old may namatay na 3. Sa ating 19 years old may namatay na 1. So, ipagpa-plus natin 50 and above. Pasok si 52, pasok si 51, pasok si 75, pasok si 62. Huwag natin isama si 20 and 19. So, 13 plus 14, 27, plus 7, 34, plus 5, 39. So, 39 divided by, saan natin siya i-divide? Total deaths in all ages in same year. So, ilan yung namatay? Ulit, 39. Plus 1, 40, plus 3, 43. 39 divided by 43 times 100. Yan ngayon ang pagkuha ng SWAROP index natin. How about your proportionate mortality death ratio? Si proportionate mortality death ratio natin shows the numerical relationship between deaths from a cause, group of causes, age or group of age, etc. And the total number of deaths from all causes, all age take together, not a measure of risk of dying. So kung kanina dito, 50 years and above, dito, number of registered death from a specific cause or age for a given year. And the number of registered deaths from all causes. Kung kanina class, yung ating crude death rate natin, number of death, and then total number of population as of July 1. Then kanina, sa ating specific or cause-specific death rate, anong ginawa natin doon? Total number of, what do you call this one? Sa ating, death in a specific or cause, and then divided by July 1, same lang. Pero pagdating dito class sa ating proportionate mortality death ratio, the number of registered deaths from a specific cause or specific age for a given year, and the number of registered deaths from all causes. So for example, ito yung mga sakit. Your CVD, your DM, and then your communicable disease, your hypertension, vehicular accident. Okay? So for example, sa CVD natin, may namatay na 5. Sa DM, 10. Sa communicable disease, 8. Sa hypertension, 25. Vehicular accident, 10. So, ilan yung patay natin? 10, 20, 25, 50, 58. So, meron tayong total number of 58 deaths. Kukunin natin number of registered death from a specific cause. A specific cause natin, cerebrovascular or your cardiovascular disease. May 5 tayo. So, 5 divided by number of death. Ilan lahat yun? 58. So, 5 divided by 58 times 1,000. Yan yung kumuha. Paano naman kapag age specific? Okay? Age specific mortality ratio. So, for example, okay, 5 below, 10 below, 20 below, 50 above. Example sa 5, meron tayong 8. Sa 10, 10 years old, merong 15 na namatay. Sa 20, may 27. Sa 50, merong 80 na namatay. So, kung gusto mong kunin ng specific age, ilan yan? 80 plus 27, we have your 107 plus 8, we have your 115 plus 1530. We have your 130 total deaths. Okay, sa age natin. Age niya, for example, 8. So, sabihin natin yung 5 years old pababa. Ilan na namatay? 8. So, 8 divided by 130 times 1,000. Yan yung pagkuha natin ng proportionate mortality death ratio. Okay? So, that's all for our health statistics and epidemiology.